So let's look opportunity cost analysis of international trade. We have already learned absolute advantage theory and comparative advantage theory. Absolute advantage theory is put forward by Adam Smith, and comparative advantage theory of international trade was put forward by David Ricardo. Both are the classical theories of international trade. Many studies were taken place on classical theory of international trade. One among that was done by Haberler, and he introduced and he made some extension to the comparative advantage theory of international trade, and it was published in 1936. It is known as opportunity cost analysis or cost theory of international trade. This is the theory of this is the extension to the Ricardian theory of trade, and Ricardo tried to explain the trade is the result of comparative advantage, and the nation will export the commodity on which the nation has the comparative advantage, and import the commodity on which the nation has comparative disadvantage. So what determines the comparative advantage is the major point of difference in the opportunity cost analysis. He tries to Haberler in his opportunity cost analysis tries to explain what determines the comparative advantage. He accepted that comparative advantage is the basis of trade. The nations will export the commodity on which the nation has the comparative advantage, and the nation will import the commodity on which the nation has got the comparative disadvantage. So this is the core of the trade theory, and Haberler accepted that the comparative advantage theory of Ricardo, but he made some point of differences, and he tried to explain the basis of comparative advantage theory. So it is opportunity cost analysis. Trade depends on comparative advantage. Comparative advantage depends on the amount of opportunity cost. That is the idea of opportunity cost analysis. As per the opportunity cost analysis, the nation with lower opportunity cost on producing a commodity, the nation will have the comparative advantage on that commodity, and the nation will specialize on the production and export of that commodity to the rest of the world. Similarly, the commodity on which the nation has the higher opportunity cost of production, then the nation has the comparative disadvantage on that commodity, so that commodity will be imported from the rest of the world. So this is the idea of opportunity cost analysis put forward by Haberler. Opportunity cost is the amount of a commodity that must be given up to produce another commodity. So the amount of a commodity given up to produce one additional unit of another commodity is the opportunity. Suppose there are two nations and two commodities, just in line with the classical theory of international trade. Two nations and two commodities. Two nations are nation A and nation B. Commodities are commodity X and commodity Y. Nation with lower opportunity cost of producing a commodity will specialize on that commodity and export the same commodity to the rest of the world, to the other nation. Similarly, the nation with higher opportunity cost on producing a commodity, that commodity will be imported from the rest of the world. This is the idea of opportunity cost analysis. Let's take an example of the United States and the United Kingdom. Suppose both nations uh, produce wheat and cloth. Both nations produce both commodities. Two nations here are the US and the UK. Two commodities are wheat and cloth. Before mutual trade happens among the US and the UK, both nations produce both commodities, and suppose both nations enter into international trade, mutual international trade of both commodities, wheat and cloth. They could engage in international trade on wheat and cloth by considering the opportunity cost. So the nations can specialize and export the commodity on which the nation has the lower opportunity cost. So they need to measure on which commodity the nation has the lower opportunity cost. That is crucial in specializing and exporting particular commodity. I will give you some numerical values. Here the US. Let's look first the opportunity of the United States in producing wheat and opportunity cost of the United Kingdom in producing wheat. So in the production of wheat, let's look which nation has got the lower opportunity cost and comparative advantage. Here if the United States need to give up 2/3 of the cloth to produce one more unit of wheat. In order to produce one more unit of wheat, the United States need to give up. They need to avoid the production of the 2/3 of the cloth. So that means the opportunity cost of the United States is equal to 1 unit of wheat, 1 unit of wheat is equal to 2/3 of C. 2/3 is the 0.66. That is 2/3 of C in the United States. So that means in the United States the opportunity cost of the production of wheat is equal to 1 unit of wheat is equal to 0.66 unit of cloth. So this is the opportunity cost of the United States on the production of wheat. So here we need to measure the opportunity cost of the United Kingdom also on the production of wheat. Then only we will be able to know which nation has got the comparative advantage, and we need to compare the opportunity cost. In the United Kingdom, for the production of wheat, for the production of 1 unit of wheat, the United Kingdom need to give up United Kingdom need to give up 2 units of cloth. So the opportunity cost of the UK on the production of wheat is equal to 1 unit of wheat is equal to 2 units of cloth. 1 wheat is equal to 2 cloth. So that means the opportunity cost of the United Kingdom on the production of wheat is greater than that of the United States. So here United States has got the comparative advantage, and they should specialize on the production of wheat as their opportunity cost of production of wheat is lower than that of the United Kingdom. So this is the way in which opportunity cost drives the international trade. Here the opportunity cost, the lower opportunity cost of the United States on the production of wheat helps the United States to specialize on the production and export of wheat rather than cloth. So even though the United States might have the absolute advantage on both commodities, wheat and cloth, so that doesn't matter. It will not maximize the gain from trade. Only comparative advantage will maximize the gains from trade for both nations or entire world. So this is the more convincing explanation made by Haberler through his opportunity cost analysis. So here in this example, the United States has got the comparative advantage on the production of wheat, and the United Kingdom has got the comparative advantage on the production of cloth. As the United States opportunity cost for the production of wheat is lower than that of the United Kingdom, and the United Kingdom's opportunity cost for the production of wheat is greater than that of the United States. So US should specialize on the production and export of wheat, and UK should import wheat from the United States, and instead they should produce cloth, as the United Kingdom has the comparative advantage on cloth rather than on wheat. So this is opportunity cost analysis made by Haberler. This is an extension to the comparative advantage theory of David Ricardo. Thank you.